Stop chasing your tail. Hard work doesn't automatically equal wealth. It never has, and it never will. Think about it, if it did, construction workers, house cleaners, and delivery drivers would be swimming in cash, right? The harsh truth is, you can bust your hump, work yourself to the bone, pour your heart and soul into something, and still end up drowning in debt. Why? Because wealth isn't built by physical exertion, it's built by understanding and applying the right principles. I'm going to share 4 game-changing principles that transformed my life, and they can transform yours too. I remember the burnout vividly. Working late, pulling extra shifts, and nothing changed. My finances were stagnant, my life felt boxed in. The question gnawed at me, what else can I do? You've probably felt that crushing frustration, the exhaustion of sacrificing weekends, family time, everything, only to feel like you're perpetually chasing your tail, perpetually in debt, perpetually tired. It's like running on a treadmill, lots of motion, zero progress. That's when I discovered Napoleon Hill's writings. One passage hit me like a ton of bricks. He essentially debunked the myth that hard work and honesty alone guarantee wealth. It stung. I felt personally attacked, like my efforts were worthless. But then it clicked, he wasn't saying hard work and honesty are unimportant. He was saying they're insufficient. Wealth isn't about sweat, it's about clear goals and applying the right principles. How many hardworking, honest people do you know struggling financially? Your parents? An aunt or uncle? Yourself? It's the norm. We're raised on the study hard, get a good job, work hard, and everything will work out mantra. But does it? For everyone? It's a generational belief, but it's outdated. Maybe it was always a myth. The world has changed. The secret wasn't working more it was working smarter. You can triple your effort on the wrong thing and stay stuck. You need a fresh start. It begins with an internal transformation. As long as you believe money only comes from suffering, that's what you'll attract, situations where you suffer for meager reward. Think of 2 people selling the same product. One schleps door to door under the scorching sun. The other sells online, using smart funnels and strategies learned from a mentor. Who makes more? It's not about who works harder, it's about who thinks smarter. I met a guy in Chicago with 2 jobs, a restaurant gig by day, office cleaning by night. I asked him why. He said, it's the only honest way to get ahead. I was silent for a moment, then asked, are you getting ahead? He looked down. No, he wasn't. We often mistake effort for achievement. Are you on the most efficient path to your goals? Or are you repeating an outdated script inherited from someone else stuck in the same rut? Fear is a factor, fear of change, of looking lazy, of failure, of judgment. But what's worse? Criticism for trying something new, or another 20 or 30 years of dissatisfaction. You don't need a dramatic overnight overhaul, but you desperately need to reprogram your mindset. This starts by dismantling the suffering equals success equation. It's a false equivalence. I've seen people multiply their income in months simply by shifting their focus from effort to principles. And the bonus? Quality family time, restored health, genuine joy. That's freedom. Not endless toil. Not constant struggle. But purposeful, effortless results. Start by examining where your energy and effort are going. Is it truly leading you where you want to go? If not, it's time to stop running and start thinking. That's what I did. And it's what you can do. Most people are on autopilot, putting in effort without understanding the rules of the game. It's like playing chess blindfolded while your opponents know the moves. They work hard, sacrifice everything, but without the principles to generate wealth. That was my life for years. I believed more effort equated to more money, keeping me stuck in scarcity. Then, studying Napoleon Hill, a paradigm shift occurred. Wealth, when it arrives, and it can arrive in abundance, is never solely the product of hard work. It's the response to defined goals and the application of specific principles. This was revelatory. I didn't need to work more I needed to work better. Everything operates on principles, gravity, electricity. You can't see them, but ignoring them has consequences. Wealth does too. Without understanding these principles, you're stuck. When I grasped this, I stopped fighting the tide. I shifted from brute force to strategic application of principles. I worked with a woman in insurance sales who said, "Bob, I can't work any harder." I told her, "You don't need to. You need a mental model shift." I shared Hill's 13 principles of success. Soon, she doubled her commissions. Why? She worked with clarity, intention, and method. Most people are exhausted. Are you? Giving your all but feeling stuck. Without principles, you're gambling. Trying to get rich blindfolded, hoping for a lucky break. But nothing happens by chance. Everything is cause and effect. The most successful people aren't necessarily the hardest workers. They understand and consistently apply the rules of the game. They understand the laws of the universe: vibration, purpose, persistence, decision-making, habit. They do what others ignore. That's how I, with no degree, a history of debt and limitations, built a global company. It wasn't luck. It was principles. These principles are simple, yet widely ignored because they require focus, commitment, and a clear decision to change. People prefer to believe luck will solve everything, but luck doesn't build lasting success. Only principles do. There's a demand for what you offer, whether it's talent, skill, service, or story. This demand only translates to wealth if you know how to position, move, and act strategically. You must abandon the illusion that physical effort is enough. You must become a conscious applier of principles. That's the difference between the wealthy and the merely surviving. Know someone who works less but earns more? They likely operate with clarity, intention, and strategy. They are guided by principles, not impulse. What principles have you been ignoring? Brute force leads to exhaustion and frustration. Applying the right principles and making them daily habits changes everything. And fast. You don't need more time, effort, or luck. You need awareness of a smarter, lighter, more efficient path. It begins with choosing to leave hard worker mode and enter conscious strategist mode. That's what took me from mopping floors in Toronto to teaching millions worldwide. The choice is yours. Will you continue with brute force, or will you embrace principles? That's what separates those who try from those who thrive. Albert L. Gray's words resonated deeply. The common denominator of success is the forming of the habit of doing what failures don't like to do. Failures don't like studying principles, self-analysis, discipline, conscious action. Many don't even know what they are avoiding. They run from pain, change, and truth. It's easier to blame the world, the boss, the economy, luck. But it's harder to admit your life is stalled because you've avoided doing what needs to be done. I say this not to criticize, but because I was there. I avoided books, thinking, changing my routine. I preferred being a victim. Until I faced the truth, it's not the world that needs to change. It's me. Most people don't prosper because they unconsciously reject transformation. Why? Because it requires mental effort. It requires leaving autopilot. The human brain is wired to conserve energy and avoid discomfort. This protection, however, becomes a prison. I remember a man I met, well-educated, hardworking, respected, yet frustrated. Always complaining about time, pressure, and finances. He asked, "I do everything right, yet nothing changes." I asked if he studied success principles daily. "I don't have time." That was the problem. He saw learning as a luxury, not the foundation. Months later, he collapsed. Job loss, marriage failure, health problems. Not because he was bad, but because he operated without a foundation. A house built on sand collapses. Always. The pain of avoidance is subtle, but persistent, a drip 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 on your soul. It grows until you can't pretend anymore. Those who thrive choose to do what others avoid: daily study, goal visualization, course correction, belief reprogramming, mental strength training. Successful people often have simple but consistent habits: waking early, reading, planning, reflecting. They do what failures despise, not because it's easy, but because they understand the price of discipline is far less than the price of stagnation. While you avoid discomfort, you avoid the growth it brings. Failures don't invest in themselves, learn about prosperity, review mental patterns, or spend time in quiet self-reflection. They prefer noise, aimless activity, distraction. Look at what you've avoided, that's the key. Scared to look at your bank account? Look. Avoid studying investing? Start today. Claim no time? Examine your time allocation. Shifting from excuses to responsibility transforms everything. People failing in relationships avoid difficult conversations. Those failing in health avoid facing their diet. Those failing financially avoid their finances and learning. The pattern is clear: repeated failure is fueled by avoidance of truth. You can choose to be someone who does what others avoid, someone who confronts, grows, transforms. The difference between being trapped and free is the willingness to do what no one wants to do, often what you don't want to do, but know you must. Your wealth lies on the other side of discomfort. It manifests when you stop running and start acting. Many try to change their lives externally, but internally they remain trapped by the same beliefs. Even with opportunity, they self-sabotage. The problem isn't external, it's internal programming. You won't achieve abundance with a scarcity mindset. Many carry childhood phrases: money doesn't grow on trees, it's hard to make money, rich people don't go to heaven, or too much money will corrupt you. These become absolute truths. If you believe, even subconsciously, that wealth is wrong, dangerous, or immoral, how can you retain it? Your mind will push it away. I met a brilliant, charismatic, talented young man who was constantly broke and anxious. He'd heard his father say, "Rich people are dishonest. If you get too much money, someone will take it from you." Even with the tools to succeed, he'd self-destruct. A silent fear of success. This isn't abnormal, it's ingrained programming. But what's programmed can be reprogrammed. Neuroscience shows that mental patterns can be restructured through repetition, visualization, and emotion. It's not theory, it's science. Your brain creates new connections when you consistently think and feel differently. I did this decades ago when I was in debt. Daily, I wrote, "I am a wealthy man. I am a world leader. I live in abundance." It felt ridiculous, but something shifted. When you change inside, the outside world adapts. Control your internal vibration. Everything vibrates, including your thoughts. You attract the frequency you emit. Fear, scarcity, and guilt attract negativity. Gratitude, confidence, and deservingness attract abundance. It's not magic, it's resonance. Harvard research shows that people with positive money mindsets have higher incomes, better health, and emotional well-being. It's not coincidence, it's alignment. Believing you deserve a good life leads to decisions that reflect that belief. You surround yourself with different people, seek knowledge, and reject what no longer serves you. A simple practice. For 21 days, write, "I deserve to be wealthy. I am attracting prosperity. Money flows to me easily and joyfully." Then visualize and feel that reality. Be amazed by the universe's response. Your mind will resist, calling it nonsense, but don't quit. Reprogramming is like reconditioning an atrophied muscle. It takes time, but it works. You can't build a new life with an old mind. Without internal change, all efforts are unsustainable. Building a life on shaky foundations is like constructing a skyscraper on quicksand. It might look impressive at first, but it's destined to crumble. True success starts with a deep, visceral understanding of the life you want, not just a mental picture, but a feeling so real you can taste it, breathe it, live it every single day. That's how you shift your reality, regardless of your current circumstances. I went from a life with seemingly no prospects, no education, no clear direction, to building a globally impactful career. It wasn't the world that changed, it was me. My mind transformed, and yours can too. All it takes is the willingness to do what most people avoid: deep self-reflection, confronting your limiting beliefs, and actively rewriting your story. You were never broken, you were simply programmed for scarcity. Now it's time to reprogram yourself. Grinding it out isn't the key to prosperity, it's about applying the right principles with the right mindset. Real transformation happens when you break free from the traps that hold most people back and start operating with clarity, strategy, and purpose. Your mind is the launch pad for everything. This new vision is now clear, don't let it fade. The next video will take you deeper on this journey, helping you level up your understanding and become even 1% better than you are today. And trust me, that 1% makes all the difference. Thanks for joining me. See you in the next one.